Welcome to another weekly reading with myself, RevArleneC, and this is for the week of March 30th to, I think it was April 5th. Yes, so March 30th to April 5th. So it's a little bit different this time. I was guided to use the Soul Journey Oracle cards, and it's not going to be one card for each day of the week, even though I picked seven, or seven flew out, and then I looked at the bottom of the deck and it felt like it was in connection to the reading for this week. And I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow, is the eclipse. And I don't know if it's the new moon or full moon, but either way, there's this really, I'm sure so many have been feeling it. There's just this, it's very intense, very electrified energy that is happening right now. And this energy it's really about going deep into these roots of our being, of our belief system. And I do feel like a lot of it isn't even in our consciousness yet. Like we haven't even really fully been consciously aware to it. It's going really deep, and it's deep, and it's storing deep into the layers of our skin, our bone, our body. And that's why there's this tremendous amount of body pain coming up for people, where it's just been amazing. Where I did I've been doing a few little mini sessions on people lately, on clients and friends, and even one that I did yesterday, the information was so deep to things that this person had felt like they had kind of moved past, and it was just this whole new layer of the onion that was so deep, raw down, that it wasn't even something in her presence. Like she didn't even think of that. But as soon as it got brought up, and I would continue to send energy work to it, I was doing the energy medicine to it and getting her to kind of breathe and process that thought. It was amazing, the shifts that happened, and how much the pain, that she was feeling deep into the root of her bones and her feet and her legs, like it just totally started to move. She could feel it moving out of her body. She could feel like her bones, like as if I was an osteopath doing bone type of manipulation. It was pretty intense and it's pretty amazing. So I feel that's why this reading is going to be different. So I'm going to go through each card and I'll read you what it says, and then I'll give you my little insight. So first we have blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Death. I am learning the endings are merely beginnings. Peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. Courage. I find the inner strength to face the fear with confidence. Surrender. I can release my need to control. Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And then the card that was at the bottom of the deck is failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So I shared those. So some of the, I guess we can say mantras that are with them, or not even mantras, what's the word? Affirmations. That was the word I was looking for. I'm not saying that they don't resonate, but really it's more of the main word that I feel tells the story. So I feel that because of our fear of failure, it is and criticism, right? That's fear, that the way we speak to ourselves, the fear that we feel, the criticism, the judgment that we place upon ourselves, and the way we gaslight ourselves, and we're afraid to truly be honest with ourselves is what creates these other cards. And then that's where we create blame. And then, you know, we hold blame, we hold resentment, and not realizing where, like this one, I feel does make sense, where this is the time that the need for us to take responsibility and accountability for those choices that we made and we haven't made, that this is coming up. And again, it's not about blame, but that's the human response we choose to give it. But it's not about blame. It is about having that recognition, realizing it, and bringing it to our level of conscious awareness so that we can start to identify the behaviors and the feelings when they arise, so that we no longer blame, but we choose accountability and responsibility. And then from that, we move on to death, right? And yes, death is not, it's not just about, it's not about endings in the way of a final death, right? It's not like the final battle, right? Sorry, I keep hearing, my son's playing, it's like Mortal Kombat, and all you hear is finish him. Anyways, sorry. But yes, so understanding that things need to complete a cycle, right? This is more about cycles being completed. This is more about that closure and bringing things to an end, so that the new beginning, so that there's space for these new lessons, these new opportunities, this new growth to come, right? And understanding that we need to work on our fear around death, and understanding that death is not the end, it is the completion, right? And that we need that death. We can't always stay stuck or stay riding the same hamster wheel, right? And not really going anywhere, but also finding peace, right? Which is beautiful, because that's the next card, is finding that peace, that comfort in the space of death, right? Because death is also the death of attachment. And when we practice non-attachment, that is where we find our peace. When we learn to let go of, control, right? When we learn to let go of that need to control and dictate and have everything in its proper columns and spaces, when we choose to be courageous and surrender to that way of, understanding that control is really just an illusion. There is no such thing as control. It's something we say to ourselves, hoping that it will bring us peace. But when we learn to surrender, remove attachment, that is the real peace, because then we're never really fully stuck to something, right? You're not holding on to something so tightly that instead it brings us misery, right? Misery, suffering is human attachment. And then once we can learn that and understand, like even for me as a mother, I've had to learn that I can love my children, I can love my sons, and I could want the best for them, but they don't belong to me. They're not mine. They are their own sovereign beings. And that I need to release, let go of that sense of attachment to them. Because once I do that, they can fully grow and step into their being and who they're meant to be here on this earth, right? I was just the vehicle that brought them here. And now they need to have their own life. They need to have space to fall and rise and fly. So then through that, of course, it's courage, right? Courage is not saying that fear isn't still present. But the only way through fear is to step up, be courageous, and still take that one step. Take the first step into walking in, stepping in, and embracing what might feel very uncomfortable and difficult right now. But it's needed. We need to learn that no is a complete sentence. We need to learn that we don't need to justify ourselves to anyone, and that our path, our choices, isn't going to align with others, but it needs to align with us. And sometimes that means other people being hurt or disappointed, but they're not living our life, we are. And that's, again, it's surrendering, letting go of that need for control and letting God guide you, letting God drive the bus, because only from that do you begin to see the change. And then once you begin the change within you, do you begin to see the change happening out in your reality around you. What you focus on is what you attract to you. And right now, change is what's needed. We can't stay here in the death cycle. We can't stay stuck in the failure beliefs or the blame. It's time to detach, to surrender, to have the courage for change. Surrounding you all in love. Thank you for being here. Until next time.